Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 2022 Planning Board meeting. Called to order and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So, introduction to board members. We have Paula Matucci to my far left. We have Dave Andreessen to my left, the vice chair. We have Michael LaRue, the chair, and we have Jerry Graybill to my right. We have Allison Herlihy, the secretary, and we have Amber Fecto on the waiting room. We have Jen McCabe, the code enforcement officer, and we have Tammy, our town planner. And I think that's it for members today. So right now we're going to open up the first public comment. This is just for anyone that has anything to say about something that presides with this, but not with any business that we are attending to today. Okay. I think that's going to close the public comment. So no one's coming in. Next going to be the approval of minutes for the January 6, 2022 meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, further discussion? No, we'll do a roll call vote. Allison? Let's see if I got him.
She's muted it.
Can you hear us? Allison? Oh,
She dropped off.
no, she dropped. Okay, Amber? Aye. Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, technical difficulties.
Yeah, they're both muted still.
Amber, can you hear us?
Is that Allison showing or?
Or Allison?
Hey, the audio isn't playing through the Zoom. It's only I can hear you guys through YouTube with the live feed, but it's not playing on your.
Yeah, they're both muted still.
Can you hear? Can they
I
hear
can
me?
hear you, Jeremy. Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Amber, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, yay. All right.
All right, great.
Or Alice?
So roll call vote. How about Allison? Is Allison there too?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Hey, the audio isn't playing through the Zoom. It's only I can hear you guys.
It's all looped now. All right. So Amber, roll call for the
Guys through YouTube
approval of
with the
minutes.
live feed.
Oh, it's going to be a delay.
Okay, talk to
All
her
right. Try
again.
that now. Amber, can you hear me?
I think Bobby Joe's trying to get him in.
Yep. Just stand by for a moment while we figure this out. So it looks like Allison dropped out.
Oh.
I didn't hear it. Just keep talking. I hear a ringtone.
Well, why don't you do the votes
Roll
here?
call, yeah, Paul?
Yes.
Yes, Dave?
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Jerry? Yes? Okay, so we have enough now, so we can just move on. There's no public hearings, so now we're on to old business, conditional use, Annie Cannon, AKA Revive Acupuncture and Wellness, 70 Worcester Road, tax map R32, lot 17-4, R2 zoning district. All right.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for having me again this evening. Thank you for giving me the chance to revise my application from the previous meeting. Tonight I am requesting approval from the board under a few conditions, which I will discuss momentarily. I am hoping to be able to open for business on February 1st of this year. I know that some of the projects that I have outlined in my application are not able to be completed at the present moment because of the ground being frozen. So there are 3 main projects that will need to be completed in the spring. Those 3 projects are the construction of an ADA compliant ramp, the driveway and parking area, and a fence that will screen from 62 Worcester Road. I am requesting that I be given the timeline of June 30th of 2022 to have these projects completed by, in a perfect world, I plan to get all of them started and finished as soon as possible, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of wiggle room to account for scheduling of contractors, ground being wet, conditions that are outside of my control. So I tried to provide a lot more detail in this application than in my application a couple weeks ago, so I hope it brings some clarity to you all on the board. So for the ramp, my contractor drew up a new plan for the ramp. Previously we had it coming off of the back of the house, but the ground back there is pretty wet. I do still plan to address that drainage issue, but the new plan for the ramp will have it coming off of the right side of the house, which will avoid the need for putting any structural foundation.
It doesn't look like it. Hold on one second. Can you
guys have
hear?
your microphones on?
Yep. Amber, can you hear us? Doesn't look like
They
it.
cannot hear us.
They still can't?
No.
No.
All right, sorry.
No worries.
She's got help on the phone, so.
Yeah, no audio on Zoom.
No audio.
So the new plan for the ramp will avoid the need to build in that area that is wet. The new plan for the ramp will be 48 feet long to comply with ADA standards, 48 inches wide and 48 inches tall. And it'll be constructed out of wood.
So this is now between the garage and the home?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Just like off to the right of the home, so using
Right,
like the back
okay.
of the deck, coming off the back of the deck and then coming down the right side of
Right.
the house.
Okay.
And the ADA for small business requirements state that small business owners must make all reasonable efforts to accommodate any individual with a
Recording in
disability.
progress.
And must remove all physical barriers that are readily achievable, which means easy to accomplish without much difficulty or expense. So I do plan to build the ramp. It would cause difficulty right now being winter, and it would be expensive and financially hurt my business if I'm not able to open due to not having a ramp in place. The driveway and parking area, I met with Fire Chief Plant and we discussed a width of 18 feet instead of 20 feet. He said that would be sufficient to accommodate his fire trucks. And that would allow us to widen the driveway in the front of the driveway off to the right side instead of the left side where the cemetery is. So it would avoid the issue with the cemetery that was brought up at the last meeting. There will be a 28-foot turnaround space for the fire trucks. And the driveway and parking lot material will be gravel. There will be a parking area constructed. The new plan is off to the left side of the driveway, instead of around back of the house, again, to avoid doing anything where the ground is wet. There is a slight dip in the land there and some water buildup.
Over here. Sorry, we're trying to.
Yes, the thumbs up now.
Thumbs up, okay.
But I will, I have a meeting with a landscaper actually on Monday of next week to discuss the drainage issue there, so that will be addressed before any construction begins on the driveway itself. The plan for the parking area is 8 spaces with a standard 9-foot width, 8-foot length. And
Annie, it needs to be wider. It's 9.5 feet and 18 feet deep, according to the reg I sent you. If you look at the parking.
oh, I
places.
saw 9, I'm sorry, I saw 9 feet.
Okay, I'll double check it. Yeah, 9.5.
Okay, 9.5 is fine, if I can quickly amend that. Prior to the parking spaces being complete, the immediate use of the space as of February 1st, hopeful open date is just acupuncture. The garage I hope to convert into the yoga and fitness space down the road, but that is not a priority. The priority is just getting the house up to code and able to open for acupuncture. I understand that I do need to complete everything with the garage within a year of planning board approval. But since I will just be having acupuncture to begin, that's just a maximum of 2 cars an hour, and there's plenty of parking space as is without constructing a actual parking lot. And the last project is the fence. So the proposed fence is going to be about 50 feet in length and 6 feet tall, constructed out of wood, bordering 62 Worcester Road. That fence, as well as the driveway and parking area, is mapped out on figure 5, which is the Google Maps image. So I'm prioritizing fencing in the area that does not have any existing tree coverage. So that is it for the main projects that need to be completed. A couple quick modifications that I made to the previous application, just to bring a little bit more clarity to it, was I made the note that the small group yoga and fitness, I meant roughly around 5 to 6 people. I noted that occasionally, roughly 6 times a year would be my estimate. I may have larger group workshops or special events. And I do want to stress that the primary goal is not to have a busy yoga studio. It's to be able to hold occasional yoga and fitness classes. I did modify the hours of operation. I just want to stress that this is maximum hours of operation, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I don't plan to be working 9 to 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't plan to have people in there those hours all the time. I just want to say that that is the maximum hours that the space would be used. And then I also included a personal use of this space. My husband and I live right next door, so we may utilize the shed for storage, garage, lawn, and garden as well for personal use. I believe that is it. I hope I covered everything thoroughly. If there's anything.
You said that the fence is only 50 feet, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Just because I wanted to prioritize the open area, and it's
Okay.
about 50 feet of the area that
Yep.
has no existing coverage.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, there's trees. You can see that there's trees everywhere. I'm assuming
Yes.
that. Okay.
Annie, can you say on the record what your estimated date of finishing your projects will be? Can you just throw that date out there so it's on the record?
Yes, June 30th of 2022 for the ramp, the driveway, and the fence.
And is that okay with the code enforcement?
ADA, what she's reading is something that she came into our office and we pointed her to. So
Yep.
that is correct. Small businesses do have that
Okay.
ability to do it as long as they submit a letter with an actual date on it, which
Okay.
is done here.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I did another note about ADA. I did contact the state fire marshal's office, and I spoke with someone there. who confirmed that based on the size and occupancy type of the location, I do not need a state permit.
Okay.
Great. One thing, as of the last time we met, because we did have a public hearing and public comments, you had left here with the intention of having a meeting with the abutters. And has that happened? And is
Yes, we did meet last weekend.
Okay.
They wanted to know a timeline on the fence.
Sure.
I, at the time, was hesitant to give a timeline just because of the financial priority of the driveway and the ramp, but I have put a timeline in here. Again, I'm prioritizing the open area, just in terms of cost effectiveness.
Okay.
Question for Jen. When we met on site that day, what about the ADA access inside the house for the bathroom?
She's already done that, right? Your contractor's already come and cut out.
Yeah,
open
doorways
doors,
have been
yeah.
widened,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That was the only thing I didn't see from what we had talked about that day. Okay.
So that's already been behind the scenes going on. My question is, what date did Chief Plant give you to widen the driveway? I know he gave you an extension. Did he give you a date?
He did not give me a date,
Okay.
no.
I don't know if your timeline date works.
Okay.
I'll talk to Dennis about that tomorrow, but I
Okay,
don't
yeah,
know.
he didn't mention anything about that. He just mentioned that it would be okay to do 18 feet wide instead of 20 feet.
Yeah, can we just put on record that a fire truck in our town is 10 feet wide? So
Right.
they need the ability to get in, you need the ability to get out. Most cars are 8 feet wide. That's why he gave you the ability to shrink it down to 18 feet. I just want people at home watching to realize why he lowered the standard for that.
Okay.
Because it still met their
Needs.
needs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the turnaround would probably be one of the more important things to do for the priorities. Jerry, you got anything else? No? Dave?
I do not.
No? Paul?
I'm good.
Tammy, do you have anything else?
Nope,
No?
she's got everything that I had talked to her about. She called the fire marshal as I had requested, which is what I was hoping, but I can't answer for the fire marshal. But as long as she called him, and it'll be in the notes, it'll be in the findings of fact,
Okay,
so it'll all be on record.
all right.
I do also have email confirmation from him if you'd like me to forward that over
Forward
to
that
you.
over, and then I can put it in the file should anybody question it.
Okay, perfect. Amber or Allison, do you have any further comments, questions? No?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to be looking to find this complete.
Or for approval.
Approval.
Yeah.
Complete first because
Yeah.
of the questions she had at the public hearing, so
Yep.
you want to find it complete.
I'll make a motion to find the application complete.
I'll second.
Okay, Paul, second. Further discussion? No further discussion. Roll call vote. We'll start with Allison.
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Jerry?
Yes.
All right, we got all yeses. Okay, so now the application is complete.
Thank you.
Now we have to final approval, is that it?
Yep.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we have a vote on final approval, which includes all the caveats that we put in here about chief plant and a date and that sort of thing. But I move that we approve this application.
I second that.
okay, further discussion? Roll call vote, Allison?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Jerry?
Yes.
All right. That's it.
So with the caveats, I'll have the findings of fact for you at the next meeting.
Okay.
So it won't be done before, but you can still, yeah, you can, once Jen gives you
Yep.
the CO.
Great.
I will talk to Chief Plant tomorrow, and I will get the date to you guys. I will also get the date to Annie right away,
Okay,
so that she knows. I don't know if he will allow it to go that long,
okay.
so I need to talk to him. Okay.
Yep.
Dave?
Annie, when do you plan on opening up?
So the hope is February 1st for,
Annie at the mic, please.
Sorry.
the hope is February 1st for the house acupuncture portion. And then within a year to get the garage up and running for yoga and fitness.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. All right, moving on. New business, zoning amendments. First one is disorderly building ordinance.
Sure.
We'll have our code enforcement officer, Jen, talk about it. You want me to read it, or?
Well, I wasn't gonna read it, I was just gonna explain why we're changing it.
Okay.
So, we have town ordinances that aren't included in our land use ordinance. Most people in town don't really know that. So we do. One of the ordinances we have is disorderly building ordinance. And what this means is if currently the police go to an apartment building or, a multi-unit building, more than 3 times in a 30-day period for disorderly conduct, parties, loud yelling, anything that doesn't require medical care or domestic disputes, because what we don't want is somebody not to call, right? So, like tenant to tenant, yelling at each other, parties, hooting and hollering, all hours of the night. Our ordinance right now says that they have to make 3 arrests before we can do anything about it and find the building owner. That ordinance was written, way back. It doesn't really, the fine is $100 right now. It doesn't really bode for today's, $100 is a slap on the wrist for people. Most people, I should say. I paired with Captain Locke from the Borough Police Department, and we kind of tore it apart and rewrote it. So we thought, some of the most important parts. Mike, do you want me to just point out the most important changes?
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay, so we are changing on here that the police only have to show up and hand out 3 warnings or 3 arrests. It doesn't matter. But if it's disorderly conduct, they only have to give out warnings 3 times before we can find the building owner. So we also added the state statute of disorderly conduct in here. I want you to see that on the first page, the last bulletin. And then if you look on the second page and you look at the fine amounts, if you look on the second page and you look units per building, 1 through 5 is 3 visits. It was 3. 6 through 10 units per building is 3 visits. It was 4. 11 plus units per building, we changed it to 3, and it used to be 5. So what we didn't want, somebody that has 12 units in a building, they shouldn't get to be visited 5 times before we can do something about it as a town. We're trying to get, everybody to feel safe and comfortable where they live in these apartment buildings. So then if you go to the last page, because we changed this a lot. So it used to be, didn't matter what offense it was a $100 fine. The police would issue it, they would collect the money, or they would take them to court. But it wasn't clear on what would really happen. So that verbiage in there has changed, Mike, just to let you know.
Yep.
And then first offense, we put as $500 up from $100. Second offense wasn't existing then, we put it to $1,000. And third offense wasn't existing, but we have increased that to $2,500. Our goal is to just, again, quiet down the buildings a little bit, let the police kind of do their jobs and more crucial matters besides showing up to the same buildings over and over, which is happening.
Yeah.
We pulled reports from one building in town, and they had been visited 45 times.
Oh, wow.
So, okay. So that's why we're changing it.
Okay.
A lot of the verbiage is the same. The fine amounts have changed. How many times you can visit is changed. And then we went to bullet points and added a few in here. So basically, unreasonably loud music, boisterous parties, sounds.
Oh, we have a noise ordinance too, right? So
Yeah, but they
that's
kind of intertwine.
right from
this
10
is
o'clock, after 10 o'clock. There's yeah.
Yep. Loud arguments or fights within the building or its vicinity. Again, excluding domestic violence or medical calls. Intoxicated on public ways, activating a device or exposing a substance. Activating a device is fireworks, so it intertwines with our fireworks ordinance too. I just want to put that on the record too. Or exposing a substance that releases noxious or offensive odors. Engaging in fighting without being licensed or privileged to do so, or any other similar activities. And then Title 17A is, again, the disorderly conduct from the state, which we had to put in there. So that's what we're trying to accomplish with this. Tammy's going to go ahead and mark it all up for you. She's going to line it out, read it, whatever they do, and then re-present it to you. But we would like it to get it to the select board as soon as possible.
Okay.
So.
I have a quick question for Tammy, more so, I think.
Yep.
Are we the ones that set the price for the fines? We just make the table. I thought the selectmen vote on, they make up the,
You don't, you're making a recommendation to the
Oh,
Board of
okay.
Selectmen.
okay, that's the only,
Whether or not they agree with you,
right, they can change, they have the, okay.
And they can change the fine amount, that's fine.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, I was just making sure, because I didn't want to have to say like, yes, that's it.
Well, we didn't
They
wanna-
have, I want them to say it.
No,
Yeah.
no,
But
no,
yes,
no.
I think that what you
Yeah.
say is
That's
is
just
right.
that's what we want. That doesn't mean that that's what they have to keep.
No, it could be higher.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it
I think the
really
third time it should be
it
even
really
higher.
shouldn't be lower though.
No, I think the third offense should be higher.
Yeah.
You know, that's,
Third offense.
yeah.
So, can I just say, can we speak at this part? Like, can we just say kind of our thoughts about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I totally agree that the same buildings seem to get frequented. My concern is like, how do we really monitor? I mean, people call the police on the building, so how are they going to know ahead of time if it's a domestic dispute or something like that? And also on the other hand, we want to worry about over policing in those areas when you're turning such a high profit on that, because we don't want those buildings to now be kind of targets of over policing.
I can tell you our Berwick Police Department will not be over policing these buildings. They already get called out there anyways, and they're just going to keep a log of it. They're already keeping logs of it. We've already been kind of looking into this. I can assure you that's not going to happen, but we do need something in place to protect our tenants that are here with small children in the buildings that are dealing with this on a regular basis.
Yeah,
You know,
they
or
need a
elderly
safe home
people,
too. Yeah,
whatever.
everyone needs a safe home.
Everyone needs to be safe, and kids should be able to go outside and feel safe in their neighborhood. Adults should be able to go outside and be safe in their neighborhood.
Mhm.
That's what we're trying to accomplish.
I have a question just on how this functions. So is a call an offense?
It depends what they're there for. The police can go
So
to,
the police will decide whether it's an offense or not
Yep.
when they arrive? Okay.
and
but-
the police are, the Berwick PD is going to issue the fine, and they have to also be the ones to prosecute if they don't collect their fine amount. They actually have to be the ones to take it to court. Code is not in it at all. I'm basically going to be helping them and keeping a log with them and helping them through the process.
Okay, great.
Dave?
Just going back to units per building,
Yep.
1 to 5, 6 to 10, and 11 plus. You talked about the 310 all the way, or excuse me, 3 all the way across. Can't we just make that just 3? Just eliminate the 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and then 11 plus.
Absolutely, we can.
Let's just do that because that'll be
Okay.
way easier.
So we'll just say
Yeah.
3. Okay,
We'll just say 3.
Yep.
you got it.
That makes it
Yep,
no question.
sure.
Back, question on the first page. Activating a device, does that include shooting off firearms from your house?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I would think that would be if your house is that close to someone else's house.
This is only for apartment buildings. If you were shooting off guns
Yeah,
in your
okay.
parking lot of your apartment building, yes. This is disorderly building. It only applies to multi-unit buildings.
Oh, okay.
Shooting
I
off
was-
guns?
Yeah.
You say, what is there, 500 feet?
Right, but if you're but that's one of the offenses. That's one part
Well,
of this.
fireworks, like,
Fireworks.
Yeah.
Okay,
anything.
yeah.
and how it also says odorous stuff, so stink
Yeah.
bombs or anything else that of that nature would
Mhm.
would also be considered.
But not burnt popcorn.
Sometimes that happens, Tammy.
Yes, I know.
Our single family residents, what are our fees for single family right now? Do you know that?
Single family doesn't exist in this ordinance.
No, we just have the noise ordinances, and you can light off fireworks, you can shoot guns, you can do, within reason and the law, you can do whatever,
Well, go back to the shooting guns, it is 500 feet.
300
You ha-
feet.
300 feet?
300
feet.
300 feet that
Yep.
you have to be, you
From
know,
a residential
Nearest
house
residential.
or the road.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a borough PD thing. Code doesn't
Yeah,
ever say
yeah.
that. Just let everybody at home know. Don't call us for that. Call the PD.
Yeah. Okay. Amber, do you have anything to add, or?
Not really. I'm just wondering if there should be something similar for private residences. Or has that not been an issue per se, like it has been?
Well, I think with that, it falls under the, like I said, the noise ordinances. So after 10 o'clock at night, if your neighbors are partying, you call the cops and they take care of it, type of thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm just worried about the similar fines, or else I worry that this could end up being a little like predatory in nature against, renters versus owners.
I mean, it'd be a way for the owners to be able to weed out the people that are having issues,
If they care.
if they care, yeah. That's the whole if too.
Oh, just my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that, we're not voting on anything right now, are we?
I don't think so.
No,
I
I
think
think
you
this
guys.
is just-
So we
sit on
don't
it
vote
till
to move
next
this,
time.
Okay.
we don't vote to
We're
move this
just
to the selectmen.
introducing this. Okay.
You will at the next meeting when I give you the codified copy. With the
Okay.
changes that you guys have made tonight.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, so Allison, I just want you to feel a little more comfortable in this and knowing that this is a ordinance that we've had in our town for a long time. We just are really changing the fine amounts and making sure it's cut and dry of what we would allow and what we wouldn't. So this isn't a new ordinance. It's posted on our town website if you want to go take a look, or if anybody would like to go take a look.
Yeah.
We're just trying to bring it into, today's world a little bit and out of like 90s.
Yeah, I totally hear you. It's just profiting from, like police intervention, I find just can be a slippery slope, especially with such a small community. But I do understand there's a need for obviously like keeping disturbances as low as possible and keeping the peace and all that good stuff. I just wonder how the best way to do it is.
I think our Berwick PD does a really nice job on showing up to calls and figuring out, like, is this their first offense? Is it not? Are they, habitual offenders? Are we here all the time? They do a really good job of that. I'm not really worried that it's going to turn into anything that it's not, because I'm going to be in some control of this as well. And I would never let that happen. So
While you're here.
Yeah.
while I'm here,
Exactly.
hopefully I retire here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So.
No, but I got what you're saying.
Yeah. Any other questions about it? Anything that you want changed before you guys see the final draft on the 3rd? You want to take a look at it and email me anything that you come up with? That'd be great.
Sure.
Cool. Is that it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So moving along, next is the village overlay request. And now we'll let Tammy take over on that.
Alrighty. So Jen, you'll take notes from this.
Sure.
This is a request that came in from when Nicole Facto was chair of the planning board. Someone had taken an email to her wanting to take and request that they be able to put a Moe's sub shop in. I don't know the people, don't know the location, but that's what's in their email here. If you start at the end of the email and read forward, you'll understand what she's trying to tell them that will happen. So I got it from James. So I said, yep, I'm gonna bring it to the board because I think it's a smart idea. The village overlay allows a few more businesses to come in on the ground floors. Hence, this would be a good idea. It would be right out here on School Street, just on the other side of the new lovely edge at Berwick. And what it would allow is for somebody, they have a multi-story home, they could put a Moe's sub shop on the ground level and live above it. You can't do that in a straight village section. I have also been contacted by 2 additional people that still haven't gotten me their letters that are also interested in doing this. One is also on School Street, and I believe they're in the same block. If I look at the picture and put it together in my mind, I believe they're in that same strip of blocks.
So let me interrupt and tell you that this house in particular is directly across the street from Aroma Joe's on School Street. That's how far up it is.
Okay.
It's right next to.
Right next to that body shop, or?
Right, the old one.
Yeah.
Yep, it's on that side of the road, it's up.
It's got a couple snowmobiles out for sale right
the
now.
one.
Yeah.
That's not R1 yet, correct?
No, that is not
Okay.
R1.
Okay.
No,
No.
it's not.
No. So that's what they're hoping to do. The other one has to do a little more with an apartment type complex with it, which the village overlay would allow. But without giving out names and going into more detail, because I don't have the documentation, and maybe they've changed their mind. There's one there, and there's also one on the other side over here. And I said, worst case scenario, they're both told no, but best case scenario is you've got to get me the paperwork before I can even bring it to the board. But this is one that was given to me in advance, and it seems to be pretty complete. There's a couple of pieces that I would like to add to it, but I would like it to at least be considered to go to the new zone. They even included, Nicole even looked up, there's a picture of a tax map in there, and she's got the whole thing circled as to what would be added and everything. And she also went to the comp plan, and I pulled the 2 pages that she mentioned in the comp plan out, which would support what these folks are requesting. So if you did the whole block, they could keep it as it is, or if they decide to sell their home, somebody coming in could then do a conditional use with it. So it's nothing that's gonna take and break the bank. It will help the tax base. It's something seriously to consider, but the 2 pages in here really help explain what would be allowed by including this area into the new zone.
So
Or
we're
to
basically
expand it.
allowing mixed use in this
Correct.
area.
Yeah, as opposed to strictly, nope, can only be residential.
Right.
This way you can have a mixed use. The only thing I question is if there'll be enough parking space for them. But I question that with everything I look at, so.
Well,
It's-
even if they get this, they still have to meet requirements,
Correct.
right? So they're still going to
Yeah.
have to come and
Yeah.
tell us what they're doing and how
Yeah,
they're
but
doing
the
it.
overlay allows for a little less square footage on the lot.
Hmm.
So yes, they would still need to get the conditional use approved
Okay.
and everything. So it's not like it's cut and dried, here you go, you can do whatever you want. No, it's not like that. It's one of those where you can take and,
And you said it would be for that entire block.
yeah, according to the map that Nicole sent us,
Yeah, it's basically from Cumberland Farms all the way to Aroma Joe's, or that body shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right across the street.
Right, right.
yeah, she's got it
Yeah.
circled in there, and the house that that wrote to her has the dark line around it. That's the one that they were hoping to be
Okay.
able to do it with. So,
Okay.
all righty.
Good.
Any questions? Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. And in Vision Berwick, I see Jeremy and, is it Elise? Yep. From Envision Berwick to,
Marie, hi.
Marie, sorry, Marie.
Okay.
To take and explain the signs, or if you have any question on the changes to the sign. They were very nice and codified it for me. So I will let one of them take over, and they can explain the sign changes that they would like to see.
Hi, everybody. I am going to just sort of talk about generally where this came from and what we were thinking, and set up kind of some of the research we did, and then maybe Marie can quickly run through some of the bullet points of what we changed or hoping to change and kind of took a pass at for you guys. Essentially, this started with Cyrus, Marie, and myself talking about encouraging business. And one of the interesting things that we learned as we researched other towns and other areas' regulations is that as preceding a lot of their language in their regulations, they go out of their way to say, we want to encourage business. We want business here. We want to make things easier for businesses. And the reason to have regulations is not to prevent business, but to encourage business. And specifically, a lot of what already exists, we think is great. Anything that changes from there, we think would be grandfathered in. So if, for example, we've gone out of our way to talk about illuminated signs, internally illuminated signs, anybody who has an internally illuminated sign now, or if this were to pass, would be grandfathered in. Stuff like Dairy Delight, that's part of the town. But really, in having intention behind this, we want to make sure, A, that small businesses and that businesses that are in keeping with the qualities of Berwick, the charm of Berwick that we think is endemic, we want to encourage that and not suddenly find, a giant neon lit, something. I could name 10 kind of businesses that would be jarring to see, right on Route 4 or on Diamond Hill Road or Cranberry Meadow. So that's really where this comes from, is having intention behind that. And also, one of the things we noticed in going through the regulations such as they are, is that there was definitely a distinction between kind of what we just talked about as the overlay district or what our density, our downtown, and then what's in the perimeter. But we feel that if we don't start to think about the perimeter as places where businesses that aren't in keeping with the Berwick that we hope we will continue to grow into, that's where they're going to land first, and so thinking about that now and having intention behind it seemed important. I think, did I miss anything, Marie?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Do you guys have copies of what we put together with Tammy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Do you want Marie to go through it? Do you have any questions? What's the best way? This is the first time either of us are doing this, so tell us how we can best, fill you guys in on what the subcommittee's intentions are.
I mean, this is pretty much it. You basically just gave us the overview of what you're looking for, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, like I said, the language, this is something that isn't in here, but it's something that I definitely would love to consider. I don't know where it goes, but it seemed to be like in the beginning of these documents, just specifically saying that, a little bit the way the comp plan sets up an intention for the town. We are not trying to hyper-regulate signage to prevent businesses from moving here. We want to make sure businesses feel welcome in Berwick. And so in being clear about what they can and can't do, we're preventing, future kerfluffles.
okay.
So, look on the first page.
Sure. Yes, I love it. I would hate to see like golden arches in the middle of Berwick. That's not that's not the vibe we're going for here. So
The example that we always used is the McDonald's in Freeport. It's not that everybody is hoping we have a McDonald's, but if we do, boy, wouldn't it be nice if it looked appropriate, and if they spent to do that. But I think we all hope for lots of businesses here, and I think generally the businesses that come here are the ones that so far fit well and get why they're here and what's magical about Berwick. We hope that continues. And, you know, seemingly it's exactly where we're headed. It's just good to, you know, put regulations on the books now.
Mhm. And when we put in the language about, you know, just about businesses being grandfathered in that already have some of these signs.
Well,
We actually looked around.
usually when an ordinance passes, if a business is already up and running, they're okay. We can't
Yeah.
back change things.
Yes, yes, so I
So
was
that,
just,
I mean, at that point, we probably could take some of that part out, because it's just like with any other stuff.
okay.
They're grandfathered.
I was just saying that when we went around Berwick to see, you know, there really are hardly any businesses that have signage that is different from what we've put in here, like hardly any internally illuminated, nothing moving, nothing, you know, blinking lights and stuff. So really, right now, Berwick has this really nice charm to it that we hope to keep as businesses come in.
Well, I could tell you about one business and their sign, but I won't get into that just yet. There's one business right downtown with their sign and their lights. So, but yeah.
Well, good to get something on the books now so that we don't end up being Las Vegas East.
Yep. Yeah.
Jen, do you have anything?
Yeah, I do. So I don't like the wording in here that the signs can only be lit from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. I don't like that.
Okay.
Some of our businesses open before 7 a.m., especially on Route 4. I don't think that really will work for our town. I think we need to have like either, if it's going to be a timeline, I don't know why we would have them shut off their lights. For like the storage companies, they all have their signs lit up. Maggie's drive-through, they have their sign lit up probably, and she probably opens before 7. I don't know for hours. There's a few other businesses down on that Ellis corridor that's probably, you know.
Okay.
I think you might want to look at that.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree because with that, people want the sign recognition, but also if they're meeting the other regulations, like black sky regulations, so
Yeah, they shouldn't be
they're
sticking
shielded to
out.
the sky and they're shielded to the road so that there's not bright light coming out on the road. I really don't, and they meet the regulation. I think we're fine with
With the time.
with the times. Yeah, with expanding the times or having no times.
And we did include, except when the establishments are lawfully open to the public or work hours are regularly in effect. So that would include if a storage unit is accessible at that time. But I definitely hear that point too for businesses, you know, who want to be seen as someone passing in the night, you know, Maggie's or something that, something like that. I definitely don't want to be exclusive to businesses that will gain something from keeping their lights on. Just thinking of right in town, or you know, even on Route 4, just driving and just seeing the, you know, so much. If lights are on 24/7, and again, I'm not picturing small signs. I'm picturing, something that is a little bit larger and may still be externally illuminated. But if it's externally illuminated for, 24 hours a day, I don't know if there's a way to change the language to.
Picture yourself driving down Route 4 at night, okay? So you're talking about grandfathering all of our businesses in. Jerry opens a new business on
he
the
can't.
North Berwick end of Berwick, okay? And he's not allowed to have his sign lit all night, but he has a storage center. But all the other storage centers, because they're grandfathered in, they get to run their lights all night long. So who do you think that people passing in the night they're gonna call first? They're not gonna call Jerry's brand new business. You know, and Paul, if he's on the other side of town and he has a coffee shop and he's not allowed to light his sign, you're gonna stop at the coffee shop that you know has a lit sign, like Maggie's or whoever, Roman Joe's, whatever, and Paul's gonna be left out. I just think that if we put a time on it, we're being unfair to our new businesses that come to town. I really think we should look at that. I think maybe they should think about it, you guys should think about it, and really consider like it being fair across the board for our businesses. We want business to come to Berwick.
Yep.
That's my
Of
only.
course. Yes.
Can I just ask you a question, Jen?
Sure.
You keep saying Maggie's. I lived in Berwick for over 20 years. I don't even know where Maggie's is.
Well, it's so funny. I know. It's the coffee shop that used to be Jitters.
Oh,
On
okay.
Route 4. They just
Gotcha.
changed the name.
Gotcha. Oh, it's called Maggie's now?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
You should
There
try
you
it
go.
out. You should try it out.
Fair
It's
enough. I
great.
will try it out tomorrow then.
Yep. Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
I think I agree too, just to drop the time, just because they meet the other ordinances, it just kind of makes sense to leave it open.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that.
So if Envision Berwick wants to send some changes to me, because this will be the first draft of it, you know,
Yep.
now that you've worked on it, if you could get it
Yeah.
to me, unfortunately sooner than later, so we can take it to, bring it back to the planning board for the next meeting on February 3rd.
Sure. Are there any other concerns in this that anyone would like to see changed aside from the time restriction? The lights on?
Yeah, I'm a little confused on the size of the signs permitted.
The language has, so I would have to pull it up in front of me, but I think that there are two different sign sizes for the,
Yeah, one for the side of a building.
and then the ones on the side of the building.
Right, right.
So, you know, for example, if you did have a storage unit, you would be able to have a significantly larger sign if, you know, you were in the shoreline commercial industrial district.
Okay.
Is there anywhere in here, and I just read it over and I don't see anything about sandwich boards on Route 4 that have small wording on them?
Not that I'm aware of, but that would be a great thing to,
Can we add something about that? Like, I feel like it's a danger when people have to slow down too much to read a sign. It's funny, I was just asked this question yesterday about somebody putting a sandwich board on Route 4 and I told them no. But I realized reading this that I really can't tell them no. Because it doesn't have any
Doesn't define
verbiage
it.
about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Tammy and Jen, can we get together and kind of work with Marie to whip something up to add to this? for that?
Absolutely, please do, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Actually,
Good.
next week would be a good time to do it. Monday or Wednesday morning?
I'm sorry?
Monday or Wednesday morning of next week?
Yeah, we can email you and set something up for one of those mornings.
Okay,
It
sounds
might be
good.
via Zoom, I may still be in quarantine. We'll
That's
see.
okay.
After this week at the town hall, not a problem.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, we're going to open the second public comment. All right, seeing no one coming up and no one on Zoom, we're going to close the public comment. Now I'm going to open informational items. Anyone have any informational items? Jen? Tammy? Nothing? Nope? Okay. Next is the adjournment.
I would like to adjourn the January 20th, 2022 meeting.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. 7:22.
I'm sorry,
Awesome.
who was the second?
My kid's the same.
I second it.
Thank you.